Greetings, fellow primates. Jim the Ape here, and I wanted to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart in that it fucking terrifies me. And that is YouTube's recent kind of quiet censorship of channels that tend to be critical of things. Now, for example, most recently, I Hate Everything had his channel taken down. All his videos were gone. His channel was taken down with almost no explanation. And he's had issues in the past, like with his Cool Cat Saves the Kids review and issues with Derek Savage. But from what I understand, pretty much everyone who reviewed that movie had some kind of copyright issue with Derek Savage, because I don't think that Derek Savage understands how copyright works, and I don't think he understands how fair use works. But this, I think, was different. His channel was completely taken down, and then he got it back, and to my understanding, there wasn't really an explanation of how or why it happened. And I can't say that I always agree with I Hate Everything. One thing that he said that kind of pissed me off was in his I Hate Tumblr video, but then he explained it. I mean, what he initially had said was, if you're not a feminist, then you're like a bigoted asshole. But what he later clarified was more to the effect of, if you don't believe in gender equality, then you're a bigoted asshole. That's what he meant. He clarified. I'm pretty sure lots of his audience, went in the comments and clarified that, being a feminist does not mean that you believe in gender equality. That's what feminists say it means, but I think in a lot of cases, feminism is for anything but gender equality. But at any rate, he had his channel taken down, and then it was back up with no explanation. The same thing happened to the Nostalgia Critic and Channel Awesome. They had the features on the site like monetization and the ability to make videos longer than, I think, 15 minutes. They had these abilities disabled with almost no explanation. And if you listen to the way that Doug Walker describes it, he says that they tried to contact YouTube in almost every conceivable way, and they got no answers. They got no response whatsoever. And to my understanding, they got their stuff back, but with no explanation. And, this goes beyond the sort of censorship that I kind of talked about in my re-upload of No Holds Barred's video about Clementine Ford. At least in that kind of scenario, as much as I hate to say it's the lesser of two evils, at least in that scenario, there's like a sequence of events that you can understand on a basic intellectual level. Like, even though it's complete bullshit, it's like, okay, well, at least you understand that you made a criticism of somebody, and even though they shouldn't have the right to censor you for that, you at least understand, okay, you made a criticism of this person cried harassment, and then, YouTube or whatever took your channel down or something because they believed the person who cried harassment. But, this just seems different. It seems like, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's been problems with Content ID, and there's been problems with the automated copyright strike system, and a lot of people have had issues, and smaller channels, channels like mine, that have been probably deleted and they never got it back because they didn't have the resources to fight it. They didn't have perhaps the knowledge to know what to do. But there are channels like Your Movie Sucks. He has videos where he actually explains a lot of how the copyright system works. That video is very sort of educational. At least it was. I don't know if their system is different now. But at least at the time, it seemed to be a very a very good breakdown of how the system works and how to sort of fight a copyright strike when it was actually fair use. But it's just so scary to think that a smaller channel could just be taken down with no reason given whatsoever, and you may never get it back, and you may never have the ability to contact YouTube and to actually speak to a person to figure out why your channel got taken down and to try to fight it to get your channel back. And I think also a lot of times, depending on what the channel's content is, you might have people who are afraid of going to court because they're afraid that, what if it's ruled that their use of copyrighted content wasn't fair use and that they may be liable for some kind of copyright infringement penalty. It's messed up. And I think the fact that it's an automated system is a big problem. I mean, we're talking about the biggest video streaming site on the planet, on the internet whatsoever. And you're talking about the company that owns the biggest search engine in the world owns YouTube. And if you doubt that Google is the biggest search engine, which why would you? It has become a verb in popular vernacular that essentially means to use a search engine to find information about something. That's how big Google is. So don't deny that this is a big fucking company. And we're talking probably billions of dollars. And you mean to tell me that this company can't hire a bunch of people to review copyright claims and to at least just skim through the videos and just make sure that it's not people just uploading copyrighted content wholesale and just making sure that there's some originality to it, like there's some kind of commentary added or, or some kind of criticism or review? You mean to tell me they can't hire people to do that? Because I call bullshit. I think that they can totally hire people to do that. But everything is done automated through apparently some kind of algorithm. And as great as technology can be, it can also be very flawed. And even so-called artificial intelligence will not always be able to make decisions in the way that a human being can, or an ape can. But the fact of the matter is, the system is broken. It has been broken and flawed for a very long time. And for such a big platform where so many people can be involved in a kind of community and make videos and put themselves out there, put out their opinions and their views and their entertainment content and all that kind of stuff, for such a big platform to have such a horribly broken system that can basically deplatform people just as easily as it can give people a platform, and with no reason whatsoever. It's a scary thing, and it shouldn't be that way. Obviously, YouTube is kind of its own company, and obviously companies like that have the right to have their own, terms and conditions, terms of service, their own sort of rules and regulations. But with the size and scope of what YouTube is, they should feel responsible to make their website a platform for the open marketplace of ideas, for freedom of speech, for anyone to be able to express themselves. And that was basically the original slogan of YouTube: broadcast yourself. And a lot of people have done that. But some people aren't able to broadcast themselves because their channels are being taken down, because their videos are getting copyright strikes and content claims. And this kind of thing, it happens too often. And it's unfortunate how the internet can simultaneously be a great place for people to express their views, but also can very easily turn against them. And you can very easily have people being censored, being banned from certain sites, or having their accounts deleted, having stuff taken down because of copyright or because of people finding something offensive and saying that violates the terms of service. And it seems a bit hypocritical when people who are just expressing opinions and who are making use of fair use policy, and their only use of copyrighted content is for criticism or commentary, when those kinds of channels are getting taken down and having problems with copyright strikes, while there are other channels that completely steal content. There are channels that upload other people's videos wholesale and don't edit anything. There's one channel in particular that I could think of that I would prefer not to say by name, but it's a fellow talking animal. And I remember several videos of his where he would edit his animal avatar onto someone else's video, and that would be it. That would be the only change that he made. He didn't stop for commentary. He didn't do any voice recording responding to these particular videos. You know, there would just be videos where he just, like, he would show someone else's video, and occasionally his avatar, his picture, would just pop up on screen, and that would be it. He would just hop on screen with his little pouch, and that would be it. And there are also so-called reaction channels, which, not even to get into the whole Fine Brothers thing, because I don't completely understand that. But from what I understand, well, the Fine Brothers, I think they took it a little too far, trying to, I guess, copyright a basic English word. And I don't even know about the whole React World thing, whatever. But from my understanding, there's a variety of different kinds of reaction channels, and some of them at least seem to be original enough that they're adding their own commentary. They're maybe pausing the video at certain points to add commentary, or they stick around after the video they're reacting to is over to give their thoughts on it. But there are some so-called reaction channels that are basically just the person sitting and watching the video and not saying much. They might just say, "Oh, damn." Like, Grade A Under A makes a pretty good video about it, and I'll link that in the description. But yeah, there are reaction channels where the people reacting, all they're doing is just sitting there, you know, maybe nodding their head or just awkwardly staring at the video. And that's basically stealing content, because they're not adding anything to it. They're not doing anything transformative. All they're doing is just sitting there watching a video. And obviously, your results are going to vary. Like I said, some people add a level of commentary to it. They add their thoughts, their opinions, and whatnot. And, you know, there are some people who reaction videos are not the only thing they do. Like Tyrone Magnus does a bunch of other kinds of videos. I've mostly just seen different reaction videos of his, but he'll add some level of his own commentary. And sometimes after the video that he's watching is over, he'll sort of talk about it for a couple minutes and give his thoughts about it. And, you know, and sometimes he'll do just a straight up vlog about something. So he's sort of one of the better reaction channels. But the point that I'm trying to make with this is that there are channels that basically steal content and nothing happens to them. But there are channels that make use of fair use policy. They fairly criticize and commentate on copyrighted material, and they get taken down and they get copyright strikes. And I think perhaps the difference is that it is copyrighted material that they're talking about, that they're using. You know, it's copyrighted music or copyrighted film clips. The kind of copyrighted media that they're fairly criticizing and using clips to make reviews of and things like that, you know, that's copyrighted and that's owned by sort of big corporations, as opposed to YouTube videos, which are owned by people, just average everyday people like you, or apes like me. And I personally don't consider myself much of a copyright owner of my videos. The only thing I would say with my videos is that if anyone wanted to sort of re-upload my videos, as long as they give me credit and link to my channel, if it still exists, And that's one of the things, like, I'm kind of afraid of my channel getting taken down at some point. And if that does ever happen, I would say anyone who would re-upload my videos, I would be honored, as long as my channel is not still up. But otherwise, I would just ask that you give me credit. Or, you know, if you want to criticize me, if you want to make a response video to one of my videos, go right ahead. Use clips from my video. That's the best kind of response, when you get to hear both sides, albeit in a sort of edited back and forth format. I don't fancy myself like an owner of my videos, really. As long as I'm given due credit if someone wants to use clips of my videos. That's all I really care about. Just basically anything other than straight up plagiarism, I'm fine with. The root of the issue is that YouTube does not have a very good track record of supporting users whose videos are stolen if they're just YouTube content creators, but they have a too good record of going against people who use any kind of copyrighted media like music or a film clip. And at this point, I think I'm just starting to repeat myself, so I think I'm going to end the video here. What do you guys think of this odd, almost Orwellian trend of people having their channels taken down with, like, no reason given for it, and then maybe getting it back also with no reason, and the fact that they've tried to contact YouTube but haven't gotten an answer in return? What do you think about that? And is it scary? Is it as scary to you as it is to me? Whatever you think, comment below. I always love to hear your thoughts. And, you know, like or dislike this video. I don't know why you would dislike it unless you were pro-censorship. But, okay. That's fine too if that's what you think. Either way, like or dislike, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay great, apes.